Yeah. All right. James Carter, you're up.
No, not that
No?
one.
Oh, you got your magnets in place, James?
I don't.
He doesn't have a shroud on there.
I don't have a shroud on here either. No,
I would just put one on the table underneath it, and it'll pick up a lot.
right behind it, it would work. Actually, I was doing some pre-grinding, and I use it to pick up the stuff. Alrighty. My name is James Carter. If for those of y'all who don't know me, I'm a full-time wood turner here in San Antonio. When they showed my stuff, the stuff on the right side is what I make for a normal business production. So I spend a lot of time at the lathe, and I also spend a lot of time sharpening tools. Learning how to sharpen properly is one of those things that everybody needs to know. The better you can sharpen, the more time you can spend at the lathe and not sharpening your tools. And so that's what we're going to talk to you about tonight. Number 4. Camera 4, Debbie. And the first thing, the essential to sharpening is setting up your tools correctly. Setting up your jigs. These are a couple of the jig systems that I use, the setups. This is part of a Stuart Batty set. It's great for setting up platforms. You've got 3 different sets that set up most of your angles. The other set that I carry is the Raptor jigs. These are from Craft Supply USA. They've got 35, 40, 45, 50, and 60. And they are fantastic for setting up bowl gouges, spinning gouges, using the one-way setup. And one of the things, another gauge that I've made myself is a 2-inch setup block. This is just a piece of wood. It's got a 2-inch hole drilled here, so I use that for the Paragrind jig. Also, the 2.5-inch hole. We'll talk about that in a different time. One good thing to get for yourself. This is a protractor that you can check the angles and make sure that whatever you're using as your setup will get you the angles that you want to get. Every tool has preferences. It just depends on what you're looking for for what you're doing is to get what you want to get. Right. I guess the first thing we're going to talk about kind of is a skew. So they're a little tool that everybody needs to know. And one of the biggest setups on tools is not just sharpening, but profiling. Profiling is something you should do when you first get the tool. Sharpening is what you do every time you sharpen the tool. Profiling you should only ever have to do once on your tool once they're done. I think. All right. So what I've got here set up is my quarter cable grinder. I got a slow speed grinder, or variable speed grinder, but I got it set up to slow speed. And on my platform, you can see this X kind of in the center. That is set up so that way this is set to a 70-degree base. So that way I can set up my angles for when I grind this angle here on speed chisel. You always want a 70-degree bevel from this point to here. I usually grind with a 40-degree bevel. This is a tool that Debbie had that was her grandfather's. Her grandfather's. And so we're going to spend tonight kind of reprofiling it. It's been multiply ground pretty badly. So the one thing I get really annoyed with when people want to talk about skews is they talk about using 1.5, 2, 1, 2.5. They don't give you a freaking angle. And it's so hard to do that marker test and get that set up to do any kind of speed when you want to set your tools up.
Oh, that's right.
A 20-degree bevel on one side is going to give you a 40-degree bevel included, which is going to be right at 1.5 the bevel grind. If anybody ever says, please set up a 1.5-degree bevel, if you set your platform at 20 degrees, you're going to have a 40-degree included bevel here and it's going to set your tool up properly. Yes, this is my 180 grit. I have a 350 grit. I do most of my sharpening on. This is working on profiling. And the 180, I think I did my shaft a little bit, so it's a little wobbly, but it will sharpen. Doing profile. That's what we're going to do first. So first thing you're going to do, put your tool flat on the grind, and for this one, I got it lined up on that line, and then we're just going to bring that edge straight across the side. Flip it over. So one thing about when they said about using a fire extinguisher, CBN not so much, but just also regular steel, not high-speed steel, so it's going to spark a little bit more. But if you've got a shop full of sawdust, the last thing you want to be doing is throwing hard sparks on your ground without having a fire extinguisher close by. All right. Go back to the other side.
While you're working on that, if you don't mind me jumping in.
Point and purpose of it is to have a base level angle reach dead center on the tool. So you just need to go side by side.
I'll get it in a minute, Andrew.
Every other 5th or 6th stroke until you get the desired bevel in the center.
An impressive array of sparks.
What?
An impressive array of sparks.
Yep. A little bit of a divot there still.
This tool is probably 100 years old.
No, Mom, you're letting me fix it. Now, CBN wheels normally don't want to use this kind of steel on that. Woodturn 100 has a product I call Slick Stick, which I did apply to this wheel prior to doing this, and it's supposed to prevent the buildup you usually get from cheaper metals in CBN wheels. All right, done on that. And you can see you got a nice even bevel on both sides. Now I'm going to slow this tool down.
James,
Yes, ma'am.
before you get into the Thompson tools, can you tell people that they're a sponsor, one of our sponsors?
I will.
And these tools are donations, right, Andrew?
I will when we get to that point. All right, I don't need this anymore now. All righty, guys. Now, so this camera, we have the
Three.
camera 3. All right, that should get me pretty close. That's what I want. Okay, let's set this tool up. Pretty simple, straightforward. Flat on the profile. You can see there's just a little bit of a divot right there. Slide that up to where that touches the tool, into the wheel. Set it there. It's kind of nice because it's already set up on the other side and I get to adjust the platform height. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that on this one. This is a 350 wheel. The other one is a 180 wheel. And for a fine sharpen, this is the wheel I use for sharpening more than anything else. And even though we're going from a 180 to a 350 grit, that's all I needed to do to get this bevel and this edge finished, complete. And for what I would normally do in my production work is now I would take a, where we at? 600. This is a 600 grit CBN home. Take this tool, put that right there. Do about that much on that way. This much on that way. I do that before I start any project. And I rarely ever touch this. I would rarely ever touch this tool back on my CBN wheel unless I needed to readjust the profile. It doesn't take long.
But
And I can keep a skew chisel sharpened for several months doing that. That's one of the best things about a skew. They're a great tool to work with.
Say, I'm sorry. There's an echo on my computer. What grit did you say the two wheels were?
The two wheels that I use are a 180 grit and a 350 grit. The 180 grit is what I use mostly to profile. Unless it's a really hefty bowl scraper and I want a really thick burr, do I take a tool directly from the 180 grit to the lathe? I have found that the 350 grit sharpens my tools finer, the edge lasts longer, and I get a cleaner cut.
you ever
And
sharpen the
you
edge?
can get CBNs up to, I think, 1200, but anything from what I've talked with other people, anything over a 600 grit is really too fine. There's not really any more return for going any sharper than that. Okay.
You ever sharpen the end of the points?
No. Usually with the way it comes off the tool, both edges, both sides are fine. I've never had an issue with it.
I'm going to talk about the narrow part of the tool. The sides.
Besides the points, this is my skew. This camera.
What one you want? 4? 3?
All right. I set it this way. I don't sharpen this side or that side. They're really fine coming off the stool. So, and then once I'm done, like I said, I spend my time just honing, and then I'm on the lathe. And this tool does at least 50% of my work. So I use it quite a bit, and it's sharp, very sharp.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Now, let's go into, next tool I'm going to sharpen is a roughing gouge, spindle roughing gouge. Reframe that question. All right, and I'm using the 35-degree Raptor jig. I like these better when I can use them. I feel that this is just easier setup long-term than trying to use those little edges off the Stuart Batty stuff. Much better setup.
Is everyone familiar with the Raptor method? Is there anybody who doesn't know what that is?
I've got one, but I've never used it.
I'll explain it in a bit here. All right, not a problem. All right, this is a spindle roughing gouge. Standard flatter top grind. You want to get it at 35 degrees. For using this kind of system, I find the platform is more efficient than trying to use the long arm method for two reasons. One, this angle is not going to change. No matter how much I grind off this tool, I'm still going to be at a 35-degree angle. If you use the long arm where you capture the handle of the tool between the grinding wheel, you're going to, as you grind the tool, you're changing your angle. It may not be very significant, but I can guarantee that this angle is always going to be the same from when I start to when I finish. So pretty quick and simple. Turn on tool, let it get the speed. Slowly bring it up. Turn it over. Get it back over. A little more glue to get rid of. A little spectrum ply. Now to get everything glued. A little bit more glue there. There we are.
We have-
Sharpened.
We have a question. How
If you
do,
have a question, please.
how do you know when the tool is sharp enough?
The easiest answer to that, just a second. You can't see the edge. I can't see the edge. I can see a burr a little bit, but that's still not the edge. When you can't see the edge, the tool is sharpened. I'll be going over this in a minute. This is a tool we're going to put a 40-40 grind on, and we'll be able to really see that here in a moment. That off so I can lose my light. Okay. Okay. Most people use spindle gouges, so we'll go into spindle gouges next.
Want to borrow one of my magnets for that dust underneath the rough wheel?
I got it.
He knows where my secret stash of magnets is now.
But then tell me where the magnets are. All right. Spindle gouge. Okay. I'm gonna detail and sharpen out. No, camera 2. Got a nice donation from Thompson. This is a spindle, just 3/8 spindle gouge. So I'm gonna profile that. The profile I'm gonna use is one similar to these. This is a 45-degree bevel. I put a secondary bevel on it just so it's just a little bit easier to cut a cove. These are both Crown tools I've had for years. Great tools. So the first thing we're going to do.
Before we do that, those are the ones that Andrew brought.
Yes.
Andrew, you want to give us a word from our sponsor?
Yeah, right. So Thompson Lathe Tools back in April has decided that they wanted to help support our group, and to do so, they provided us with some stuff for the Christmas party and stuff like that. Well, I approached them a couple of months ago to see if they would actually sponsor this demo. So this grinding demo has been brought to us by Thompson Lathe Tools. They have donated 3 more gouges, 2 detail gouges and a spindle gouge for our next raffle in November. All 3 of these, they were hand sharpened by Doug before they left his shop. But because our demo is on sharpening, James is actually going to do a custom grind on each one of these for us. So as we go through, you'll kind of see the tools that Doug has provided for us. They're all good metals, and if you are one of the winners, we have some paperwork that we can provide you as well that come with the tool. So we want to make sure that we do show our support to Doug Thompson if y'all are looking at getting a new gouge or skew. He's been a good sponsor for us this year.
Thank you.
Make some fantastic tools. I've got several of Thompson tools, and I recommend their steel highly. Okay, the first thing you want to do when you're doing a Raptor, when you're doing a one-way jig setup, is you want to set the tool at 2 inches, 2 inches. So it's pretty simple on this guy. Put that down in there. It's 2 inches. Fantastic. And then I grind my spindle gouges at 45 degrees. So that's strong. the second notch, into the second notch. That's going to give you a nice fingernail line. Get rid of these really aggressive wings on the side. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to use the heavier grip wheel to profile this tool just so you got the desired grind you want. Nice, easy angle. All the way around the side. Always moving. Take too long in one angle. Cut off somewhere. Then you find one location, and you're going to change the profile.
What angle did you use?
45 degrees.
Can you hold a little more under the camera? There you go.
Sorry, I was trying to put myself so I can see my shooting picture in the A11. Right now we're looking about like that. And go forward.
There you go.
See my finger.
Which tool was that?
This is a regular still gouge.
Okay.
Right? But take a little bit more back to the sides. That's just about done. Now I'm going to put the secondary bevel on this tool. And this is the little trick I learned watching an Alamo demo at the last Utah State Symposium. This is a 1 inch, this is a 1 inch cube of wood. This just happens to be like is what I had. But you put that into the bottom of your one-way arm right here. Set that against it. You take away the heel of the tool. So that way you got a nice relief, even relief all the way around. When you're using this kind of code like that, it's going to prevent that from causing you to get underneath where you want it to be. Slow it down. One thing about having to use this is you have an arm. Now, we're going to put the 45 over here. Go ahead and put the final sharpen on this thing. Here's the best.
Try four over here. Try four. A little bit further away. A little more. There you go.
That's what we get difference in steel quality from the two drawings. It has a little bit of a burr on it, that'll come off pretty quick when you start using it. Then you get a nice, even sharpened fingernail grind. Or you got your angle. Easy to repeat. From now on, I can get that sharpened back up in less than a minute. Alright. We got to keep that out. I'll show you how I broke one of them, not both of them. I'll show you the other one back at my house. But the detail couch, and this thing you usually want to find or edit because you want to use it for detail work. The number 3.
There you go.
This is my own personal one. This is a 4-inch couch. It's got 35 degree level on this guy, and it's the finest cutting tool that I have. Really great for getting in the small areas you're trying to get some beautiful detail going on. That's our goal for the evening on this guy. So I have 2 long arms, so at the same time you don't have to touch. Erase the right on it. It's also said that you I tried putting a right on it. It doesn't work for that, but it still works as a sharpening tool. It still works the same way. I use the sharpen. It makes it a little easier to start up. Two inches. Okay. We're going to start again with the 180. Profile's got to get the size got to really lot of room.
James, how much of the original bevel did you leave?
The original bevel leaf,
You leave it before you grind it heel. You grind it heel off the original bevels.
depends on how much steel. The one thing about a detail couch is they have a huge amount of steel, and it's not. You figure out you need to off the couch, off the tool rest that much. So within half an inch to 1 inch of the tip, you can probably grind most of them on a detail couch. Usually it's off the rest of the block. So if you can do that.
The heel's going to be the same on all your tools. So you're using the 1-inch block all the time, correct?
Usually the relief that way. Depends on if I want to come in here manually and just get some of the way. on detail, yeah, you don't see all the detail on here. What I like to see is a good, even, uniform primary build, and that's what I try to get this block. Primary build, around. Depending on the really add how and I'll put a finger wheel on it, and grind down with that, and then we're going and start profiling. But as you see, we're going. You can see that we've got a pretty uniform level here. I'm trying to get this just to match that side. Yeah, probably should go back and make sure you're still work on this. Make sure you get around the edge for that bottom. That's keeps it. This by the block, two and a half inches of a little bit of block. That about the all the way around. Yeah. Yeah. I see very sharp. Probably remove some wheels if I want it, but that's going to perform pretty dang good.
What's that angle again?
This one is set to a 35 degree. I heard this one is fine as 25. I just don't have a way of setting up, so I don't use more. Okay. Talk about some areas, this is the exact same grind, done the exact same way on football guys. But if you notice the difference in the way they look. This one here is the robust, the parabolic flute on a 3/4 gauge or 5/8 gauge. And this is the Thompson, which is a D gouge. D groove gouge. Both 50 degree for the 50 level with the one-way jig. But with these two, we use this nice straight gray slide cavity. Next to these are, and this is kind of really far next to the front. The ground at the same point. It's just a matter of the difference in the flute and how that affects the grind. That's one thing to affect the grind equals is what how the setup itself. You also hear a lot of people talking about the 40/40 grind. This is a Thompson half-inch. So 40/40 grind. What a 40/40 grind basically means is it's 40 degrees here from the bottom to the tip. There's also 40 degrees. You got 40 degrees from this point here. The advantage of this guide more than anything else is you can literally the entire width of the level. So fantastic for removal of material. And when you're changing from a close to an open flute, you don't have to change the position of the tool. It's constantly at 40 degrees, so you're not having to swing the handle to meet up with the bevel. Compared to here, you got to move the tool this way. When you're doing the 40/40 grind, you just flip the tool and go. The bevel will always be riding that 40/40, that 40-degree bevel. With a 50 degree, you have to swing the edge of the tool to keep it in line. Take advantage of that tool. Now, how do you set up 40/40 bevel? That's the next question. Choose to use it. I use this on. I use Sharpening, so I actually put. Depends on the tool. I have a Robert's couch that I bought. Originally put a 50-degree bevel on it. It did not get it. You see the feather for me was not very happy with it. So it's a 40/40 grind, and I just got the most. Contrary to that, I had a V ground or V gouge on the ground, and originally had a 50-degree on it. Switched it to a 40. So sometimes some tools just don't like being that. I just have a 40/40 grind. This is 40-degree jig. Set up here, 40 degrees. You put this one at the wheel. You put that on your platform. Now, the easiest way to set this up, this one has got to be done. You can see the flat. Ground, so I'll go through over the setup one more time. Basically, the first thing you want to do is put flute down, your tool on, or your grinder on, sorry. Bring it up till you got nice even view all the way around. Now, as most grinders will show you, see if I can get this in there. Everybody right here, I'm drawing lines at a 40-degree angle. When I set this tool this way and go over at that 40-degree angle. First thing you want to do is just go into the line off where you got 30 degrees on your tool. So you got a nice easy non-bevel on it. See a little bit of a flat now. Now I want to take it in. I want to take sharpening down, working that angle. Do the other side. You can either uniform for go all the way around, take tool, or rub and pull it out. If you got the folder, it's a fantastic tool. Make probably the rest of your day. But not everybody wants to jump on their hand, right? And you know, one thing most people don't want to do is take a one-way jig and figure out what all these little notches mean. Most of the time, you get a horizontal grind. You want this about the third or fourth notch, depending on how far back you want your wing. The farther down you go, the farther the wing is going to be. The farther up you go, the shorter the wing is going to be. And I actually make myself what I call a bottle gouge today. Which, if I want a bottle gouge, I don't want it all the way up. Take my arm, and I set it to 60 degrees. I'm talking about a 50-degree bevel. Yeah, 60-degree bevel is a fantastic work. Then wrap it, hook it up on 60 degrees, get it all the way up nice and snug. Like that. Now, for this demo, I got this is the cheapest gouge I can find on Amazon. It's $40. It's supposed to be you got, but it's not. That is definitely a deep grind. A real nice Sharpie that's really great. Like it. It's not you. That's right. So once again, this is the initial profile, so we're going to start on 1 grit. What you just did.
We have a question.
Let's go.
Question is, explain what you just did with that.
I didn't quite tighten down the handle very well, and the tool started to slip out, which was going to grind. You can actually see there's a little dip right here. So this is all 60 degrees. That's probably an 80 degree level. Not 80 degree level, 60 degree level on this tool. The depth, because this tool was taking off quite a bit of material, so I'm pretty sure that I'm no longer at the 2-inch requirement point. Let's take your angle, look at the heel, you know where it cross. Profile over here. I'm not going to put a relief bevel on this. I want to be able to use it as a top gouge. A full is right here. I might be able to get rid of it. Unfortunately, because it's not a U-gap, it's not going to come up with that. That's also one thing about learning about which gap you got. Do your purpose. Good way to set up a bottom ball gouge all the way up on the arm. 6 feet level here. And give you a nice strong ball for across the bottom of the ball, sliders, face grain. Really way to do that. Now, for most people, when they're cutting gouge with a 150 degrees, 150 degrees. You also want a nice oversized Irish fingernail side. So for that, you're going to want to come down, read this, set the top of this, this little niche. Okay. This is the 50-degree wrapper jig. That's locked in place.
What did you say the angle was?
60 for a ball gouge, 50 for a standard. I grind. It's pretty much is already sharpened. I don't think any problem on it. My wheel, light pressure, and it's sharp. That's it. Takes a couple seconds to get you a water tool without having to worry about. I promise this one will stay sharper longer than putting it on 80 grit. You're going to get it. You have it. You get a closer cut, and that edge is not going to last as long as this will. You get a much finer 350 fast and great longevity tool. I usually sharpen it every morning. For the most part, I have to sharpen it every day. Unless somebody has a lower, so I do. I just sharpen in the morning and I keep sharp. Okay. All right. That's yours.
James.
Yes, sir.
Ben Ruttenberg. I have a quick question for you. Maybe this
Go ahead.
is time to press it, but I'm struggling a bit with trying to figure out kind of what are the best angles on sort of my bolt gouges versus gouges. This is like this kind of 20, 40 angle is the way to go. But some of the other ones, there's just so much variation. Trying to figure out what to use. As a beginner, his kind of flux and any input you could provide on that would be really helpful.
That's one of those things. That's all right. In general, I'm going to say you probably have the easiest time. You don't want to get third thing down 50-degree level. That's going to do for most of your works. Unless you do any deep balls, that's going to cut you pretty edge. That's what I've gone, and it's worked very well for me. Without trying to get into the, if you're trying to grind the 40 by hand, those are going to work. If you wanted to get a secondary bolt gouge, you can cut into a 60 body gouge. That might be another thing we want to get into. It's really just about tool control and this and presentation.
Could you recommend resources that would explain sort of the benefits and uses of the different grinds? Sorry, from the ones.
It's just you're going to the biggest arguments. That's one of like the biggest arguments in bolt gouges. Depending on what's going to go, whether there's the Ellsworth tool, which he can cut almost everything with the Irish grind tool, and just start tool for the presentation. How to cut with that particular presentation.
Jim, could you explain the Irish cut in Irish?
Irish grind. Irish grind has a long wing to the side. This is on the short side, or elder Irish grind. Actually, use the see how I'll show you a little better. Up here. That's a 50-degree beveled grind. If you wanted to go, actually, go ahead and modify this. The reason why I can't. It's my tool.
Is that also called a fingernail grind?
No, not for a, or not necessarily for a bolt gouge. finger usually refers to a more so than a bowl.
What's the difference?
Size more than anything else.
Okay, not the grind itself, it's the,
Not grind itself, it's the okay. This go up. As it's really shallow, even ground flute. That's the way they are. Whole couch is usually seals all the way to the top, very deep.
can you hold it under more?
I'm putting the tool up and drink. It's a V ground, so you have fairly straight size in a V around the bottom. This is a V ground whole couch. You can see much deeper flute, so you can use part of the wing to get the hole. This is robust. This is what we call an elliptical ground, so it's kind of it's got an elliptical flute, and I see you go up halfway down flute. What I like about the robust couch is it's flat all the way down the bottom. So I can sharpen this in the gym to that point. So with two shots right there, you get a lot more use out of this couch versus most of your whole couches, they don't flatten all around. So if you want to sharpen this one, you have to grind this sucker flat first. All right. This one I'm going to, I should increase the weight, so we'll find out how much we can do. Just changing one tick. Okay. Yes. All right. Just by putting one tick down on the Wolverine gauge, I went from here to there. So we brought it down a full quarter of an inch. Brought that thing down just real quickly, just by changing out the position on your on a longer range of work with. Here, that would work. And just one, two. Does that help anything? There you go. Same tool profile. You see how much farther back I came here compared to this one. This is where you sweep the angle back to. The biggest fear everybody has, they always want to easy to one point and never get it in. Learn to use the tool, move it around, works for you. And that's one of the biggest skills in sharpening is finding what works for your type of turn.
James, can you explain why you would want to use the sweat and when you would not want to?
I say you wouldn't want to use a sweat background is if you're trying to do a bottom. If you want to set a bottom, well, yeah, you're a front, more frontal side wing, so you cut across the traditional style look out so that higher side is so cut cleaner. You just ability with using the farther wing backs, and you can cut exceptionally well. Alter level, learning how to present the hole in the bevel, the edge in the bevel, the right one.
So you cut at different points on the bevel?
There's more options cutting with this tool around the edge of the hole because you got so many different angles. Then you do that guy. This one's very on where it's where this bevel edge is going to ride that hole. Not a problem. Yeah, this question. This is a 23 millimeter or 1/8 inch beading tool. All right. It's flat across. It's got the bevel on down here. It's a scraper. So this is the edge that cuts. How do you sharpen it? There's ways you can do this. If you're always comfortable, you take it home, work that way. But actually, it's just going to be a little more challenging than that. What I would recommend to do, and that is, trust me, use this tool. 10-degree relief bevel on.
This in your hand.
This is a super fatty angle gauge. You can get them at the Woodward's Wolverine out of Las Vegas, Nevada. There's 3 in a set. Between the 3, get just about anything you want. You buy all 3 at one time, they'll give you one. You basically pay for 2, they give you 1 free. I think I got mine at SWAT. They think that's your SWAT. I'm going to sharpen this. I'm going to put the top of this down. I'm going to do this down. There. You can see we have a relief bevel that includes all of the okay. With that little relief bevel, now these two tools. This is my 3/8 split gouge that I use today. This is a 1/4 split gouge. But I bought the 1/4 gouge first. You can see how much 3/8 gouge that I used in the time that I've had it. I use this guy a lot, and it sharpens a lot. And so it goes away. But that's it. All right. I'm at the point where I need something particularly want to answer.
There were at least one person who said they were fairly new to learning. Do you have questions about any of this?
No, wonderful. Thanks, James. I mean, I'll probably hit you up after. More questions.
Well, we've had one of those sets of graphics for a long time, and I never knew what changed anything along that thing did.
I love it. It's weird hearing myself echo back in my head all day. Like, I'm not good for
What's the name of that system that has the graphics? Wolverine, right?
Wolverine.
It's the Wolverine system is the one that he's been showing us tonight.
This is a Wolverine Sharpening. You can go with that much Sharpening facility. With their standard very for Sharpening platform for sharpening its shoes, scrapers. I don't talk about scrapers. And
Behind you on the wall, there's several there.
there's a massive bag. This is a standard bowl scraper. Big guy. The typical most of these are going to put at a 60 to 70 degree level. Fairly simple. Just mouse. I'm not a sharpening tool, but I'll always show you the setup. Change it for so as you can see there's something again now.
Let's see if we can get you in better. There we go.
Okay. 70 degrees up against the window.
Is that curved a little?
Yes. If you're using a belt, you put it point to point. If you're using a wheel, there's a slight, it's just a hinge, drive wheel, again wheel. So when you're just one of these guys, run around the double. Probably set up. Oh, what am I doing? This one here. You're making invest in sharpening. Once you finish sharpening, this will tell you what you're sharpening. And this one is set to 79 degrees. So right on 80 degree level, I think I'm sure. That's the factory. Have you tried this on yet?
I should have this 4B set. 4B system.
Yeah. 68 degrees are really well. You want to raise the burr. It is the burr that actually does the cut. There's a burr bar.
start, somebody new, I think I would mention a black felt pen and you cover the place that you are sharpening, and then just turn the wheel by hand to show how it scrapes up. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I actually hate using that method for one reason. It takes too long to set up. If you got a good set of jigs, and you can set your platform for your long stuff, it's a lot faster than sharpening.
Yeah, but if you don't have the jigs, then that's separate, another way to do it.
You don't know whether you've gotten it in the right spot or not. I still use that.
You can also get if you're cutting the whole thing off, you're able to start varying 1 degree, 10 or 10 times sharpening that way, and a 45-degree grind is now 50 or 40. And so I know it works and it can work. I get really annoyed when people tell you 1.5 degrees or times the thickness of the tool. Just tell them it's 40 degrees. It's not rocket science. We don't do drastic math to figure this out. You know,
James, what was the angle that you sharpened your skew at?
it's a 40 degree included. So it's 20 degrees on each side. I set the platform at 20 degrees, sharpen both sides, gives you an included angle of 40. It should be anybody's 1.5 the thickness of the tool.
Thank
I know Alamo says 1.5. Cindy drove to do a live event, and she said he could sharpen it. I said it should be 40 degrees. She bought the same tool I did, checked it, 40 degrees.
Okay, good.
Can you maybe mention some of the other sharpening tool systems?
That's the one market.
Advantages, disadvantages?
Advantage, disadvantage. Grinder setup is probably one of the cheapest to get into. Grinder is some kind of Wolverine, Kodak, those guys. Probably one of the cheaper ones to start off with. There's the Sharpening Pro Edge, which is a belt grinding system. Very nice system. It does a flat grinding compared to grinding. So on your shoe stuff, you've got a flat grind on the metal instead of the slight hollow grind you get from the wheel. Then there's also the Tormac. Tormac is a beautiful system to use. It's a water cooled, slow speed grind. You'll get one of the best sharpened edges on anything. Disadvantage is it's much slower to profile your tools with.
And it's expensive.
It's expensive. It's probably the most expensive system to get everything you would need to do to sharpen most of your sharpening tools. But there's a lot of professional terms that swear by the system. So that's what we want to do.
Anybody else have any questions for James?
People have questions, can they contact you directly?
Anybody can contact me directly. If you need some help sharpening something, if it was something I didn't cover, special kind of tool, any kind of crazy tool, just anything. I have no problem talking to anybody about